This is the Leopard C2A1 MEXAS, a Canadian version of the Leopard 1 main battle tank, fitted with both armour and ammunition upgrades. The C2 was the main ground forces prize for Operation S.U.M.M.E.R 2020 and is currently only available through the Gaijin market. It is currently placed as an event vehicle on the German line at Tier 6 BR 9.0, making it an ideal companion for the tech tree Leopard A1A1 and the premium Leopard L44. The C2A1 maintains the same 105mm L7 main gun as the earlier Leopard 1 models in-game, although does feature an improved top ammunition option in the form of DM33. This is an APF-SDS round with up to 408mm of best effective penetration and is obtainable as a Tier 4 modification. Other rounds available include Tier 1 modifications for HESH and DM23 APF-SDS, and then also a stock HEAT-FS round. The gunner's sight on the C2 has first generation thermals and can zoom from 4 times to 12 times, making it quite capable at both shorter and longer ranges. The C2 then features an additional 2 7.62mm machine guns to complement its main gun. One of these is in a coaxial mount and the other one is on top of the loader's hatch. The main feature that sets the C2 apart from other Leopard 1s in game is its Modular Expandable Armour System, or MEXAS for short. This is formed from a series of composite screens that are primarily placed around the frontal hull section and the turret of the vehicle. This armour does provide some additional survivability against most chemical rounds, but will usually have less of an impact when going against kinetic rounds, such as APF-SDS. The power unit of the vehicle is still in common with earlier versions of the Leopard 1 and produces 830 horsepower, and despite being just over a ton heavier due to its armour upgrades, the Leopard C2 seems to have comparable mobility to the lighter Leopard A1A1. A few things of note: the C2 has 5 camouflage options in game, one of which is a market camouflage. These should provide a good level of variety for the various maps that you will usually find yourself playing on, although for me personally the market camouflage was a little bit pricey, so that is a skin that I don't own for the vehicle. The C2A1 also has a somewhat high repair cost of 15,000 silver lions when the vehicle is fully upgraded. This is over double that of the standard Leopard A1A1 that it is most comparable to. Well, with that overview more or less done, let's move over and take a look at some gameplay in Ground RB. Okay, so our first game is on the map Frozen Pass. Gonna spend most of this game overlooking the B point and attempting to either prevent enemy capture or help friendlies to capture the point. First kill, T62, he had just captured the point, moved up the hill, and I assume was heading either to A or just onto my side of the map. So I was able to get him quite easily as he drove out from cover. While looking over the B point, I see a shulker. I'm assuming he was pushing the B point, as at this point it is uncapped. And so, you know, he was just driving out in the open, pretty solid shot, went in, hull broke, fairly easy kill. Friendly TAM is capturing B, T62 trying to make it a little bit tricky for him, so I go in, fire a shot. Pretty easy kill. Of course, in this game I will be using DM33, the better round on the vehicle, APF-SDS round, Tier 4 modification, with 408mm of best effective penetration. So this position seems to be quite good. I hold this position for most of my life in this game. Just overlooking B, the enemy can really come from 2 directions, and speaking of, we have some enemies coming from the other direction. Just saw them coming down the hill, so I move out. And what is that? Type 74? It's a Type 74. So shot goes in. Pretty easy kill. But then there is something else. What is it? It's the fear of all tank drivers, the ZSU-57. Not to worry though, he has hull brakes, so yeah, he dead. But there we go, 2 pretty quick kills. Moving back though, the enemy is decapping B. The TAM went in, he got the point like the absolute hero he is, and then he died, and someone else started capping. So, you know, it's kind of my job to at least stop them capping before they get that point. So let's get moving. Let's get zooming towards the point. They are behind smoke, but yeah, not to worry too much. My thermals can seemingly see through smoke, so there we go. Another T62. T62s galore today. They are everywhere. It's raining T62s. A little bit later, looking over the B point again, seems to be an M60 pushing up. and again it's a relatively easy kill. Honestly, the gun on this is just very effective. If you just get a reasonable shot, if you shoot for the hull or the turret in a reasonable position, it's highly likely it's just going to one-shot the enemy. Nonetheless though, it has come time for my game to end. BMP, fire a side shot. I thought it was a reasonable side shot, but yeah, I guess the BMP armor can be a little bit derpy sometimes and be kind of weird, so I guess this is the end for me. ATGM, kaboom, I am dead. 7 kills. I did later go on to spawn in the TAM and the A1A1 L44, and we did go on to then win the match, so not too bad there. Okay, so our second game is on, well, it's the new version of Italy, not sure what the actual name is, so let's just call it Italy. So this game's on Italy, going to be staying down near the C point for majority of this game, and, you know, we spot our first enemy, T-55AM, trying to move to the C point. Pretty simple kill. Go into binoculars just to scan around. After taking a shot, I find it's pretty good, especially when you're on a sort of kind of open sniping area like this where the enemy could probably see you. It's good practice just to reverse back for a second just to make sure they don't spot you. Going into binoculars, I see movement. It is a BMP. Use the binoculars to aim the gun, fire the gun. Pretty solid shot there. So then looking around, I spot a gun. Not entirely sure what it is, but I will later find out it is an Object 279. I see movement. Don't actually see the vehicle, the bush was slightly obscuring it, but, you know, I hit the engine, so he's not moving, gives me time to try and kill him. Second shot knocks out a crew member. Realign for the third shot, it pens, but it clips a fuel tank, and the fuel tank just decides to eat the rounds. So, you know, I'm going to have to fire again, so this time I get into a better position, just aim for the turret, and he's finally dead. Only took 4 shots. I am obviously an expert marksman. Nonetheless though, moving forward again, I then spot another object, 279. Another shot goes in. He was looking in my direction, but luckily I'm able to knock out the crew with that first shot, and that is my 4th kill. Now at this point, I was essentially alone at the C point. The enemy had captured it, most of the team was up at A, and I'm being rushed by a Roy Count 105. So what am I to do? Well, I'm going to attempt to gutsy hull break, and it works. Hit the top of the turret, and it hull breaks his vehicle. Hull break can be kind of stupid at times, but in this case, it really did save me. So, you know, a little bit grateful that that did work out. Moving on, though, I attempt to flank the C point, and what happens? Well, I get shot in the turret, and my turret ring is broken, and I've lost a crew member. So what do I have to do? Well, I should probably run away, shouldn't I? I mean, running away would be the smart thing to do. I'm not sure what has shot me. I know it's behind me on my side of the map. So I just run away. I go and hide somewhere. I quickly repair my turret. And, you know, of course, still not knowing where the enemy is, the logical thing to do is to try and find them. And when I have no luck there, I decide, well, there's more friendlies at B. So let's drive down to the B point and see what's going on. By that point, though, they cap B, and there's some more friendlies moving up towards C. So I decide, let's stay here and try and get the point. And as I'm doing that, what comes around the corner? But probably the guy who shot me, a T-72A. I'm assuming that was him. I'm going to make the assumption he was driving in circles trying to find me. And luckily I was able to evade him and then come back and get that nice lower frontal plate shot. Driving out, though, T-44, I was moving to meet up with friendly vehicles so we could assault the C point together rather than one by one and potentially being picked off. Got the T-44, who I assume was leaving his spawn, and you know, once I had done that, it was then time to move on to the C point. So driving on, already got a Jeopard on the point, and luckily he spots an enemy tank that was being very sneaky breaky. In fact, there was a BT-7 just sitting on the spawn point, just hiding out there, trying not to be spotted. Thankfully, though, the Jeopard saw him and, yeah, very quickly said nope, and, yeah, blew him to hell. So, sorry, BT-7, not really luck on his side. But nonetheless, we're capping the C point, getting that done. My team now has all of the capture points, and the enemy is rather low on remaining players. An OF-40 decides to come and join us in the cap, and you know, at this point the team is pretty well reinforced from the top to the bottom of the map, rather than obviously at the start they were sort of all going to A and just leaving B and C. Final kill, C2A1, though, he was firing ATGMs, lobbing ATGMs off towards friendly tanks, and I luckily spotted him thanks to my thermals, and was able to get that final and 8th kill of the game. So pretty good game, 8 kills, got that base cap, and I actually survived this one despite taking a pretty solid hit to the turret. So GG, good match demonstrating the MEXAS in action, and that's going to be it for those games in the video. Well, there we go, the Leopard C2A1 MEXAS. When I initially got this vehicle after I completed Operation S.U.M.M.E.R, I hardly played it. I did 5 or 6 games at most, and then just didn't really bother to play it. But then I was squadding up at 9.0 German last week, and I had this in my lineup, and I actually found it really fun to play. And this is not actually a BR range that I commonly enjoy. I tend to prefer lower or mid tiers, but I was playing here with a friend, and I had this in my lineup, and I really enjoyed playing it. So really, to explain the vehicle overall, just to sum it up, to quote Todd Howard, it just works. You have a well-performing and consistent gun with good ammunition options on a chassis with all-round good mobility, and then with armour that can usually take 1 or 2 hits before the vehicle goes down. Personally, I found this to be one of the more enjoyable vehicles that I've played recently in game, so if like me you got the C2 and then just left it to gather dust, you should certainly consider giving it another shot, as I think it's quite likely you'll find yourself enjoying it quite a bit. Anyways, that's going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you did enjoy or found it useful, please consider dropping a like on the video, and if you wish to see more content such as this, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.